be able to watch the replay right away. Okay, so yeah, we'll get started now. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching the replay, insiderealestate.com/webinars is where we have all the replays. And this webinar today is part of our series, product updates and feature deep dives. Sorry about that, guys. Had a delivery. That always happens as webinars are starting, right? At the front door. So this series, the product updates and feature deep dives, basically, we usually come here, we talk with members of the product team about things that are coming up with the product. This week, I checked with the team. There isn't really much to report, so I'm just going to do a deep dive. The topic of the deep dive this week is going to be landing pages. So we'll spend the next, say 30 to 60 minutes or so, just diving deep on kvCore's landing pages functionality, allow you guys to ask some questions. You can always chat your questions in the chat box today. My name is Ryan Hartman. I am flying solo today, so I'll do my best to get your questions answered in the chat box. So there's a little chat box there. You can chat me if you have suggestions or questions as we go. And yeah, we'll kind of just get going now. So landing pages deep dive, we're going to go through some landing page theory very quickly. We're going to do an exploration of how to create the various available types of landing pages that we have in kvCore. When you get to the landing page builder, you'll notice there are some options there. We'll show some specific examples of pages, maybe to give you some inspiration for what you might want to do. Time permitting, you guys can also suggest a page or two if you want to see me build one live. And you want to chat in the box, hey, I want to see a page for this or that. Maybe we'll do some of that. And then we'll chat, if you want, quickly about the use of third-party landing page generators. Remember, kvCore is very extensible and integratable with third-party stuff via our API or mostly through Zapier.com. So if you're thinking ClickFunnels or Lead Pages or any of the third-party landing page generators out there, you're definitely able to use those with kvCore. So time permitting at the end today, I can just show quickly how you go about integrating one of those. So somebody just chat in the box. Yeah, Ryan, I can hear you. Let's go. Let me know that you guys are alive and listening. That would help me out a lot right now. And as you do that, I will dive into the landing page theory very quickly and talk about why landing pages, right? Why do we want to use these things? And for context, let's just bring one up. I'll just bring this first one up that I have in my library here. So here's an example of a kvCore landing page. And the reason why you want to use something like this is because it's sort of a keep it simple approach to generating leads. And a landing page that doesn't have a navigation, doesn't have a lot of distraction on it, can convert a lot higher than pages with a lot of clutter on it. So you have a much better chance of somebody landing here, getting a very specific offer that appeals to their sort of lizard brain or snap, so they can make a snap judgment and decide whether or not they want what you're offering, versus going to, say, the homepage of your kvCore site. So I'll go to mine here. Where there's going to be all kinds of things they can do and distractions. There's going to be this navigation. There's going to be this option to search. There's going to be all this stuff they can scroll and do. And a lot of times the dilution of focus, when you give people choices to make, it kind of hurts conversion rates. So landing pages like this one can often get a conversion rate, call it between 15% and 50% or more, depending on how well you've crafted the page and what the offer is, versus if you try to send traffic straight to your homepage of kvCore, you'll be lucky to eventually generate, 5% of people into a lead, if that. Even if you're driving traffic to our squeeze links, which I'll talk about in a minute, you're going to see a much lower conversion rate than you will going straight to a landing page with a targeted visitor, who's interested in that thing. So thanks everybody for letting me know that you could hear me. I appreciate that. Okay, so that's a little bit of the theory, getting that out of the way. What else do we have here? I will mention landing page versus squeeze. Again, as I just said, our squeeze links in kvCore, they will generally be links to lists of properties. So people are going to have choices between lots of properties on the screen, and they're going to click through various ones, and your chances of getting conversion might be slightly lower. Though I will say those squeeze pages do convert right around 11% to Google pay-per-click traffic, for example, all day long. So they do work very well themselves. They're just slightly different in what they do. So let's now get into the good stuff. Let's go into the landing page generator in KV Core. I'll show you guys how to do that. We're here in our KV Core dashboard. And I'm going to click, hover over where it says lead engine. And then I'm going to click where it says build landing page. So I'll click that. And I see a question here. Great question. Why use KV Core if we need to pay for ad campaigns anyway? How does KV Core direct traffic to our landing page? We don't. You do that. All right. Or you can buy products in the marketplace or from third parties to drive traffic. But KV Core is the software. And then, yes, it does not automatically drive traffic to your site for you. It's one of my favorite questions because I do hear from people, hey, I'm not getting leads automatically, and your KV Core subscription does not come automatically with leads. So hope that helps. Okay, so here we are in the landing page generator. And if we look up to the top left, we're going to see a few different options for the different types of pages we can build. The most popular of which is the lead generation one, the sort of simple one right here where you have a headline, you can add a few bullets, then you have email and cell phone, the option to add an email and cell phone in here. And then when the person opts into this page, they're then redirected to the thing that you're offering. So for better context here, if I were to opt into this Pinellas County starter homes page, just type my email in there, and I click see the list now, this one had cell phone required. So I have to put that in. And then this will redirect me to the list of properties that was offered. Now, one thing to know about these pages, all of the types that I'm going to explain now, is they will automatically log the person in to KV Core and into your KV Core account and put the lead in your system, of course. And then any properties that they click through and view will actually be shown in the history of the person. So just know you don't have to have them opt in again once they've done that. So good question here. I knew we always get this question. Thanks, Jonathan. So Jonathan's asking, can we add more fields? Currently, we cannot. Okay, so that's where you might want to use third-party generators. We do have in development, or kind of at least on the roadmap, the ability to add the name field. I know that's one that's been asked for a lot, and also to have some more flexibility with what's required and what isn't. So you might require name, you might not require name. In general, though, I will say that the less fields, the better in terms of getting conversions. And if you're doing things right, if you're, say, collecting just an email address, but you're dripping and you're following up with great information, you know, you're sending property alerts and you're sending original content that you create from week to week about your market or about the specific niche type of property that the person might have opted in for, you will eventually get their name, you will eventually get their cell phone and other information because they're going to start chasing you. That's sort of my high horse, you know, the sandbox spiel on that one. I'm personally am a fan of only collecting the email, playing the numbers game there, and then serving people with follow-up content that makes them reach out to me. But that's a great question. It is something that's on our mind. And if you do want to collect a lot more information about people, then you're going to want to use third-party generators, or you could use Google Forms, for example, and send a follow-up to your leads like, hey, I'd like to learn more about you, and you would send them a Google form. On this topic, I will mention in passing that last Wednesday, so 24th of right before the holiday, I did actually do a webinar all about building custom forms that collect more data that is kind of relevant to that question, and showed how to zap that in. So yeah, if you want to collect more data points, you'll use a third-party landing page or form generator. Okay, so back to the actual page here. So let's go ahead and make one. I'm going to make, let's see, what should we make? Let's make a properties with acreage landing page. Just kind of thinking off the top of my head here. So I'm going to set a hashtag, and I'm going to do acreage right here is my hashtag. I'm going to say, see the list now. That's for my submit button. You can put whatever you want. And then my URL after login. So if I'm offering a list of properties, will be that list of properties with acreage. So the flow will be, if we're doing a property list, will actually be to go into KV Core, and I can build a quick squeeze link right here. build a quick squeeze link for those properties with acreage. So I'm just going to type my property in here. We will do single family homes. And then I can choose my acres. I'll do a minimum of 2, which I probably won't have too many of in this market, but let's see what we get. So I get my link here that has that list of properties. There we go. There was 18. And then this is the link that I will set in my landing page here as the URL after login up at the top. So I'm going to paste that in right up here. I'm not going to require phone this time. I can choose a background image. So we actually have a template for acreage. So I'll just kind of choose that one. Just know that you can add your own custom background. If you have a URL for an image on the web, you can do that. I'll choose buyer as lead type. And now I'll start to click in here and I'll say free weekly list of Pinellas County, Florida homes with 2+ acres of land. And then I like to do in my sub headlines, priced from, I'm just going to make up some numbers here just to speed it along. These aren't going to be accurate, but price from 500,000 to 2 million plus. And then if I want to, I can do these extra bullet points. My personal opinion on these is there are times when they're appropriate, but if you start to add more stuff for people to read, I feel unless you're really good at writing copy, it suppresses response. So you just saw me get rid of those 4. And the way that I did that was I double clicked on each one and it went away. The other thing you can do, I don't know if all offices, maybe some people have this blocked, some companies. So if it doesn't work for you, that could be the case, but you can also double click and remove the company logo if you want. And then we have this little sub headline under here. If you enter your cell number, we'll text you best deal we know about right now, something like that. So a little extra inducement to get your cell number while it's optional. So this page, as you saw, it took me just a few minutes to make, right? Kept it really simple. If you drive traffic to this page and you're driving traffic to people who might be interested in 2+ acres of land, in my personal experience, you could run a Facebook ad to this without much targeting set at all. And people will come here and opt in. It's just kind of, when you do acreage, it's kind of an interesting offer. It's one of those ones that you'll get a pretty good conversion rate on. So that's an example of how to build the page. You basically walk through the fields up top, make sure you set that after opt-in URL, put your text in there, and you're good to go. And I am pretty personally biased, in the spirit of trying to lead you guys in a direction that will get you success. These niche-focused property list offers tend to work really well and are my favorite. So you saw me do the starter homes one just a minute ago. Let's bring that back up here. And the page I just built for acreage is very similar, right? The what it is, and then price between price range. If you start to niche that down, and it works. So good question from Barbara. So if I hit save, this is important right now. If you hit save, these are currently not saving in KV Core anywhere to go back and get later. They are building that right now. It's one of those things that I personally had issues with. I lose my pages frequently and wanted this feature, and I know they're building it right now. But when you save the page, definitely save the URL somewhere. And my personal approach is to just take from my browser. I know it'll be small on your screen, guys, but if you take and you click right to the left, drag it down into a folder in your bookmarks, and I keep all my landing pages right there so that I don't lose them. So you create a quick, in your browser, you can kind of right click and add a folder, call it landing pages. And then as you build them, drag them down into there so you don't lose them. So Barbara, I hope that helps answer your question. That said, again, we're aware everybody wants this. We did recently launch for squeeze pages the ability to go and get a history of all your squeeze pages, and you'll have a similar thing pretty soon for landing pages where you'll be able to go back and see a history of everything that you've built. You see here, I'm clicking history on squeeze pages. It'll be similar for landing pages once that feature is live. So probably what I just walked through, probably the most popular kind of page, or the one that's used the most, a niche focused page now that offers a list of properties. Now I could have also, of course, offered something else like a free report, an appointment, information about a coming soon listing, right? You could do coming soon, 123 Main Street, right? And then I might redirect them to the coming soon listing inside of KV Core that you can create in the listing section, right? So there are lots of possibilities here. The example I showed you was just that niche focused example. Okay, so and this is our basic lead generation type. The next type, let me click back here to lead engine and click build landing page again. The next type is going to be our video view. And what this does is it allows you to build a page where you have a video, and then the person can click and go to the next thing. So if you're pretty familiar with internet marketing and affiliate marketing, there's a term called a pre-sell page or a pitch page. This is a page you can build that kind of with a video that kind of introduces some concept, and then it gets the person to click for the next action. And you can actually, if you want to, sort of chain pages together. So you could have them watch your video and then click to go somewhere else. But my favorite thing to do with this particular page is to actually use these as thank you pages or bridge pages after somebody hops in to something. And I know I just opened a can of worms there with that term bridge page, but basically it's a page that goes between the thing that they were opting in for and the thing that they're trying to get. So in the example of our homes with acreage, or our Pinellas County starter homes, you could have somebody opt into this page, and then you would have a bridge page. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There you are, where you're on video and you say, hey, so you get on camera. Actually, I'm not on camera, am I? You get on camera and you say, hey, thanks a lot for accessing my starter homes list. When you click the button below, you'll be taken directly over there. But in the meantime, I just wanted to make sure you had my cell number. It's right above this video. You have my cell number and email address. If you have any questions at all, feel free to text me at any time. So the power of these kind of pages, of course, is these bridge pages, is that you're letting somebody get to know you a little bit on video before they continue in and get the thing they were asking for. So that when KV Core starts sending automatic follow-up, they can kind of put a face or a voice to the name, to the emails that they're getting. So that's one possible use of these pages. There's no opt-in here, right? It's simply going to be, they're going to click and go to the next thing. Now the actual building of this, I'll click here to get the thing, right? This is how I make my submit button right here. My URL after video, that's where I'm taking them next. So if I were doing a bridge page on my starter homes list or my acreage list, I might put the property list link right here. And then the way that you get your YouTube video in here is something I've seen people get a little hung up on. You need the YouTube ID. So I'm gonna try to make this box a little bigger for you guys. And I'm going to find any random video here. So this is actually the video of us streaming right now. We're getting a little meta, right? I wonder if my bald head is in multiple boxes on there. I guess not. But anyway, the YouTube ID is after the !V equals right here. And then it's this little string of numbers after the V equals. And what you'll do is you'll take that and you'll put that where it says YouTube video ID. I'll make this small again so it kind of pops up. And if I click out, you can see the webinar you're watching right now is actually showing in the video box in the middle. So Evelyn, insiderealestate.com/webinars is where this replay is available. Just look for the Inside Real Estate YouTube channel. It'll be one of the last videos there. Yeah. So that's that YouTube video ID. You can put any video on these pages, and the rest of it works kind of similar to the first example I showed you, right? You can just put your bullet points in, put your text in, delete the logo if you want, set your background images if you want to. So that's the video view version. The next version is the video plus lead. This one won't need a ton of explanation. You're going to put the video in the same way. It's going to look the same way as the lead generation page, except you are putting a video in there. So you have the ability to say, hey, hi, it's Ryan with Forever Florida Real Estate. If you'd like the list of starter homes in Pinellas County, you should pop your email in the box below. And as an additional bonus, if you give me your cell number, I'm going to spam you every hour. No, if you give me your phone number, I'm going to, also text you the best deal I know about in Pinellas County right now. And I'll send you that deal of the week every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Right. So the video, what I'm trying to illustrate for you guys there is that the video can be powerful if you can sort of get on camera and sell the person on why they want to put their name and email in there. So good question from Chris. After you finish the landing page, how long does it take for KV Core to publish it? It's instantly published. Okay, so as soon as you hit that save button, that URL is live and ready to go. So this page I just built, you can go to, everybody can go to this link. I'll drop it to everybody if you want to look at it, and it's live and ready. So yeah, no, it's hosted. You can build an unlimited number of these. Pretty cool, right? You're not going to pay any additional hosting fees or anything like that. And build as many as you want. So that's the video plus lead generation option. The next option, I have to click on my lead engine, build landing page again, is this content hijack. Now, I'm going to dismiss this one a little bit. So I'm going to click content hijack. At the time when this feature was created, somewhere around 2015 or 2016, these were all the rage in internet marketing circles. And the idea behind the content hijack was you would put a page in front of what the person was looking for. And then you could do this no thanks, taking to what I wanted. And the idea was that you could kind of like send people to an article about the housing market, right? But in front of that article about the housing market, you can make an offer to give them a list of real estate deals. I'm going to recommend, guys, for practical purposes, that you don't get into this page unless you get building these, unless you're really advanced and you have other pages already working really well for you. In my testing and in a lot of people's testing, this fad kind of went away because this doesn't work great. You're kind of offering somebody one thing, but you're interrupting them before they even get there. But if you want to use these, basically, you can see up top, it says URL you want, URL they want. This is they want is the original thing that you're kind of offering in your ad. And then the URL you want is kind of the interruption. So yeah, Chris, it's kind of wild. I never loved them. There used to be a bunch of people trying to sell like, I forget what they call it. Like it was called a content hijack, but it was like Warrior Forum and all this stuff. There were all these things out there that did this. And the idea was that you could use somebody else's content as the bait and then put your stuff in between. I don't love it personally, guys. And just for the purposes of your success, I would focus on some of these other types first. So I'm going to go past that one. Let's go to the it's bridge-ish. Yeah, yeah. It kind of is. I mean, and it kind of work, but it's very nuanced in order to make those work. So text lead. These work very similar. And what you're going to do with these is you're just going to put one of your KV Core text codes in the box. So you might say, see a complete current list of Pinellas County foreclosures and fixer uppers, right? Whenever I use foreclosure, bank owned foreclosures, that always sounds spicy. And fixer uppers, right? And I know there's not a lot of those going on right now, but that's just an example. And then you have your headline, and instead of having them put their email in, you could have them put a text code text your text code to that number so that you collect the phone number. That would be the big reason why, right? You're going to collect a phone number instead of an email address, and you know that it's going to be a cell number that you can text because they're texting you. So the way to kind of build this, you're going to need to go into the lead engine here. You're going to go to the call and text capture, and you're going to build out a code, right? So you can build as many KV Core text codes as you want, but let's just say, let's just use one that I already have here. I have this one for deals, for example, right? So I built this code. The code is deals. If they text it, it says, hey, here's that Pinellas deals link, gives them the link. And then I like to ask an open-ended question after they text me. Just curious, are you an investor or just looking for a good deal on a property to live in, right? So it's kind of to continue the conversation. But the important detail here for the purpose of this landing page is this code deals. So come back here. I'll put the code deals up in the box, right? Let's make it, I don't know, lowercase doesn't look as fun. I'll make it uppercase, and it doesn't matter. It can be upper or lower in this case. And then somebody can text that to get my list. of Fixer Uppers. And maybe I'll change the background there. We got a nice little foreclosure image in the back. All right. So that's the text code. So this is kind of like just a quick little landing page, a splash page, someplace to take people. In my experience, there are situations where this might be useful, but you might find that it's just as effective to put this offer directly in your ad. So if you're doing Google display or Facebook ads, or you're doing a Twitter post, you know, it's just as easy in the ad itself and eliminate that extra step of coming to the page to just tell them the text deals to this number. But, you know, you have the option to use a page like this if you want to with the platform. Okay, continuing on. Build landing page again. Address capture. Now, I don't know if on these product update webinars we've talked much about this, and the reason we haven't is because it's a big undertaking. But just do know, guys, that we are revamping the way that the seller lead generation flow works. And hopefully, you know, going to quarter 1 and quarter 2 of 2022, you'll see some of that come down the pike. But basically what this page does is it will take somebody through a similar flow to what they go through. If they come to your website, they click the cell, right? So I'm going to click that on my site here. And when they enter the address right here, this landing page will take them through a similar flow. Okay. Now what this allows you to do though is customize the offer you're making. So my favorite kind of seller side lead generation offer is free, detailed 20+ page report shows you what a buyer might pay for your Pinellas. This is getting long. County home in today's smoking hot real estate market. I'm having a little fun with it. Might get rid of the smoking hot, but we can do that. You could do bullet points like, you know, see what your neighbor's homes sell for, see what other properties are on the market, you know, detailed comparative analysis, you know, hand prepared by a human, not a computer. So you could add those kind of bullets in. And then I think we have a nice background, you know, for home value report, or if you want, you could put a custom image of a report that you've created before. Maybe you're using Core Present, for example, or Dash CMA. You could put a sample in the background. So that's that. And then if somebody enters the address, they will get the, it'll walk them through the process of seeing their value. Okay. So Zita, I'll answer that question for you. It's fairly simple. Zita, can you let me know, Zita's asking, how do we add leads to campaigns? Do you mean the leads that you generate through these pages? Is that specifically it? Or do you just mean a lead in general? You can add from the contact record, you can manually add people to campaigns. But I will show you guys the way to add the leads that are generated through these pages to campaigns is by setting up campaigns that trigger based on the hashtag. Okay, so remember, whenever we're creating one of these, we're adding the hashtag field up here at the left. So good. Thanks, Zita. Yeah, so what you'll do is you'll do, back to our starter home, you know, I would do starter homes. Okay, I'll answer this question now because I think it's very relevant. Thank you. So I'll enter starter homes is my hashtag on this page. And whenever a lead is generated through that page, they'll have the tag starter home attached to the contact record. And then what I can then do is I can go to Smart Campaigns and I can create a new campaign, right? And one of my rule will be when the hashtag is starter homes. Okay. And then you go through and you build your campaign out, but it's based on the trigger of the hashtag is what's going to create the campaign. Unless you have a default campaign, for example, for all buyers that just triggers for any new buyer lead, which a lot of people have when they first get their KV Core account, then it'll just automatically fire that campaign. So that's the quick answer. Yeah, what you'll find you'll do is for every kind of lead capture element that you have, it could be a landing page, it could be a text code, it could be a squeeze link. Maybe you're driving leads through Facebook lead forms and using Zapier. But a good rule of thumb is you're probably going to want to build a unique campaign for each of those funnels. And it's always going to be triggered by the hashtag, or in some cases, the source. Cool. So that's that. So the address capture. And then the last one right here is very similar to the text capture where they would text a lead. There's no kind of action they take on the page. But if you want people to chat with you on Facebook, probably when I was about, how old was I? 24 or 25 when Facebook first came out. I was very immature. I was, you know, but my Facebook vanity URL is house your mom. All right. So that it still sticks with me, but this is entered into the KV Core system in the settings. And if somebody clicks this, they'll be able to direct message with me. So, so that's what this page does. So it might be like, learn about the absolute best real estate investment opportunity in Pinellas County today. Right, a little bit of curiosity. And then my submit button text is click here now. So what this would do is somebody would click, we'll go ahead and save it. Somebody would click and this would get them into a chat with me. Now I might break Facebook because I'm basically going to be in a chat with myself and I'm probably logged into Facebook. So this may not work great. Yeah, it's getting confused. But basically this would link to your Facebook Messenger, right? It would be like m.me and then they'd be in conversation with you on Facebook. So these are pretty cool. I personally haven't used them too much, mostly just because I forget or, I'm using other things, kind of an afterthought, but these are very interesting because when somebody chats with you on Facebook, what are you getting? You're getting their full profile and a lot of information about them, right? So, yep. So the AI is smart enough to connect the lead to that campaign. So going back to the campaign question, well, the AI is just obeying the rules that you give it. You're saying when you set up your campaign that, hey, whenever the hashtag is starter homes, create the send these follow-up actions that are part of the campaign. But yeah, it is smart enough as long as you give it the rules. Yep. Unless you give it nothing and then you have a default campaign set up, it'll automatically do that for any new lead. Good question from Suzanne. And that, before I answer that, Suzanne, that kind of wraps up the different types. So what are we at? We're about a half hour in. So that's the functionality. Pretty simple, guys. You just kind of get in there and start using it. A couple of little, Easter egg tricks in there, such as double clicking to get rid of the lines. The things with the background images, know that you can put your own images in. But for the most part, these are pretty straightforward, right? You just point and click and write what you want to write where it goes. Make sure you're setting the URLs after login and you're good to go. So the question that we had was, can we put a landing page we create on a standalone website? So I do believe if you wanted to, you could iframe one of these in. I don't think it'll break frame. So if you kind of wanted to put it in a page on the second website, that'd be fine. But my advice would probably be for the sake of user experience, would be to build a quick banner ad and link out to that from your site. I don't know, I need an example site. I'll just go to like CNBC or something. So you would use, if you have like a WordPress site or a third party, just treat it like any other ad, but you're running an ad on your own site and have a nice banner that clicks over. So you might say, Pinellas County foreclosures, you can make it animated or whatever. Have that be in the footer underneath all your blog posts on your third party site or in the sidebar. CNBC wasn't a great example here. You can kind of see their closing bell section here. You have a little banner ad and then you would click out. The other option might be to frame it in if you want to, which is a little more techie, but you're basically going to iframe. You can Google how to create iframe HTML. This is how I learned HTML. And then you'll get this W3 Schools link, which is who taught me HTML. And then you can just kind of take their little bit of code here and swap your code in and pop that on your page. So a little bit of a long-winded answer, but yeah, that's it. To watch this training later, guys, it's on the YouTube channel, insiderealestate.com/webinars. We'll take you to the YouTube channel. Andy's asking, can we put in a BombBomb video? I don't know, actually, Andy. I do know. Not currently in the page. I do believe that's a feature request because we do have a lot of people using our core video add-on. Of course, it would make a ton of sense that you'd be able to come here and instead of a YouTube ID, put a BombBomb ID, for example, or a core video ID and put that in, but it's not currently functionality. But yeah, good point. Very good point. Okay, I was just looking through the questions, make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so going back to our notes here, we've explored some of the various available types. We did some landing page theory. I'm going to take just a few minutes and go through my library of stuff. If anybody happens to have a landing page that you want to chat to share with everybody for inspiration in the chat, please feel free to do that. But I'm just going to click through a few of mine here. I showed you guys the Pinellas County starter homes. Let's take a look at a recruiting page. So considering switching real estate offices, this is a kind of good headline. And then the subheadline like teases a core value prop, right? Core value proposition. So the office on Mac, you get KV Core free and you get an 80-20 commission with no fees, right? So that'll be different for everybody's office, but you put a little blurb in like that. And you do that. Now, this particular page for recruiting, they're obviously going to see what company is recruiting them, right? You're being very direct about the value proposition of your company. So if somebody's curious about it, they might opt in. Let's do another one. I'm just going to kind of go in order. This example is I must have been doing a recruiting webinar or something when I put all these in there. But this particular example is how to build a modern real estate growth system. This was also a recruiting focused. But the point of this page is something that anybody can use, is that we used a third-party YouTube link. This was a training I had done that's on the Inside Real Estate YouTube channel. But the point for you guys is that you can take almost any content that's on YouTube and use that as bait to generate leads, right? It's free, it's shareable on YouTube. So you might go ahead and say, let's try to get a YouTube video about how to sell your house for top dollar or something like that, right? How to sell your house. I've found that Khan Academy is like a really good, resource. Let's just use the basics of a short sale, right? So you might go ahead and build a landing page that offers this video, the basics of short selling your house, right? And then when they opt in, maybe you take them to, instead of taking them straight to the YouTube video, you take them to a bridge page, right? Or another page, the video view landing page where you've embedded that video, right? And then they can watch it there and then they can continue to your website. Shout out to Mr. Beast. Oh yeah, my kids, right? You probably saw a bunch of Mr. Beast there. The kids are always watching on mine. By the way, the bridge page thing I keep bringing up, we do have that webinar somewhere. Bridge pages, KV Core. That whole technique, I was kind of hoping it would just pop up for me. Man, it's definitely on our YouTube channel. If you search bridge pages, and that got really good feedback. If you have time to go look for that on the YouTube channel, I might try to find it in a minute. But I'm going to keep going. How do you get custom backgrounds on? You're going to need a URL for the actual background image. So chances are that if it's going blank for you, you're not using an image URL that's hosted on the web, right? So right here where it says custom background, you got to put a URL image in there. So let's just go to Google Images. Okay, we'll go to Google Images and we'll do, we'll just do St. Pete, Florida, just for my area. And you need an image that's hosted on the web, but you need to kind of make sure you're not going to steal somebody else's hosting. I'm just doing this to be quick, but I'll grab the image URL here. Going fast here, guys. Sorry, I kind of lost where that was. Background. It doesn't have to be a certain size, but it could be the type of URL, Suzanne. So if you chat our support team, see it filled in there with the link, it might not have been an actual image URL. It might have been a file extension if the system was like something like an SVG or something like that. It might only take PNGs or JPGs. It's possible. But yeah, that's kind of how you do it. And as Chris is saying, Imgur is a good source because you can just kind of upload something to Imgur and then get the image URL, put that in the background. Okay, a couple more example pages. This is another recruiting one. I have these all in a clump, but how to become a real estate agent and sell 3 to 12 houses your first year, right? So this might be a video or a PDF that you create, right? So you're offering some kind of magnet, something of value, information that they might be interested in, and you're offering it there. 7 tips for getting the highest price possible when selling your Pinellas County, Florida home. This was a webinar we did not too long ago. that includes a campaign share code. So that should be on the webinars page here. If you scroll down about 2 or 3 months, you'll find context for that webinar. But again, this is an example of some kind of information based. In this case, we just delivered the information via a drip campaign for that example. What do we got? Fun stuff for agents. Here's a Heritage Ranch Homes for Sale that T. Wayne Wood did a few months back. So this was just see all available listings in a specific subdivision or neighborhood, right? Let's see. And then we have one for a specific listing. This did strangely well. I ran a YouTube video ad for this one. So you can see here what I did was I just put the address, I described it very quickly, and then I used the MLS number to, and it put, you know, when I put the MLS number into the landing page generator, put the image in the back. This converted really well. Nice little $700,000 property that's generated a good number of leads off of YouTube, at least people opting in. Wouldn't call them leads, but at least people who are interested in the property. Okay, what are in the links for each topic, Barbara? So these are custom, these offers you see from the landing page, this is custom content that I've created for these examples. You're going to want to create this content, basically. That 7 ways to sell your home for top value, that we actually give you that share campaign in that webinar. As I stop here, I'll go and try to grab a few of the bridge page webinar and that one. I'll try to drop it into Zoom here for you guys before you leave in the next few minutes. But yeah, and then this was the one we just built. So I think you've got a little tour here. I probably have 50 other examples. The possibilities are endless, but hopefully just seeing a couple of these in action will give you some inspiration for what to do. And then finally, a quick chat about third-party landing page generators. We kind of touched on this with the question about how do I add more fields. I'll just mention some of the popular ones. Leadpages.com. I think they're still in business. I haven't seen much about them lately, but they were really popular for a long time. ClickFunnels, which you've probably heard of. A lot of the email marketing solutions like ActiveCampaign, MailChimp. These guys all have their own landing page generators now. We did that webinar last week about Google Forms, right? So you can create a Google form and that could function as a landing page. You could drive traffic to that. But the big takeaway there is just know that you can use these third-party generators, and then you can use something like Zapier.com to take the submissions from those and inject them into KV4. That process itself is a topic for another session, which we've done many times. If you go through the webinar archives, including the open house one that we did last week, you'll learn the how-to of that. But I just want to mention that, you know, that if you find that any functionality is missing from the built-in landing page generator tool of KV4, and you want to do a little bit more with the fields or customize a little more, just know that you can use third-party stuff and get the stuff injected, you know, into KV4. So our video archive is at insiderealestate.com/webinars. And that just simply takes you, I'll type it in the box here. That just takes you straight to our playlist of sessions like this and our next level sessions, which occur Monday through Thursday at 4 p.m. That means there's another session starting in about 18 minutes. You can access those sessions, the links to those from the dashboard page of KV4 from the calendar. But if you look in here, I'm going to attempt to find a few that I've mentioned. So let me see. It's weird. You know, you'd think it would search the playlist, but it searches the whole, all of YouTube when I do that. So I'll go to our channel and search Bridge. Okay, so here's that Bridge Pages webinar for you guys. Drop it live. And then where's our seller? Wow. Seller campaign, maybe. If you search seller, we've done a number of things about generating seller leads, but trying to find the one we did about 2 months ago about, oh, yes. It's this one, building an email course base. So we basically created a course for seller leads. It's that second YouTube link. Building an email course-based real estate KV4 growth system. There's 2 parts to that. So yeah, guys, that's about what I had today. We have a few minutes here. If you have any other questions about KV Core, other functionality outside of the landing pages that you'd like to talk about, I can hang out for a few more minutes. Hopefully you found this to be kind of useful, just a good refresher or an introduction to how to use this functionality. Basically, what you're gonna a good rule of thumb would be to come up with one hook. Don't stress yourself out about building hundreds of these pages. Come up with one kind of niche focused hook that is your thing. In my case, I have this domain 727realestatedeals.com that I simply redirect to a KV Core landing page. And this is the simple page that I advertise on the back of my business card, or in a lot of ads with bobblehead business card holders, whatever. Have one focus that for your business from a lead generation perspective and build a page for it. No problem, John. Yep, thanks. Oh, I wonder if my domain expired. It's not loading. That's scaring me. These things happen. Unless I spelled it wrong. No, I bet you've expired. I use a domain registrar that doesn't automatically renew, so I don't end up wasting a lot of money. Oh, there we go. It needed the www, but that's it. This is like my main page right here. So it wasn't expired. I must have just typed it wrong. But yeah, that's a good strategy. Just like that, just come up with a core niche focused offer, drive a lot of traffic to it through a KV Core landing page, and then get a little more sophisticated, add in bridge pages, focus on your campaigns, but you can really, do well building little funnels for yourself with this tool. On the HTML question, we don't have anything that lets you create a page and update the HTML like the email editor, but that's a good point, RK. I think there is some discussion internally about creating a landing page generator similar to the way the advanced editor looks. I don't know where the product team is on that, but that has been brought up for sure. So Suzanne, yeah, you would need to post these in order for them to generate you leads. You would need to drive traffic to them, share them on Facebook, Twitter, run ads to them, run Google ads to them. We have one of these pages. Surprised it wasn't in my examples. Oh, we have one that we use locally that for new construction that we run Google ads to, and it generates a couple leads a day for the last year or so. To give you an idea, you build a good one, you can just let it go and run forever, as long as you're driving traffic to it. Is there a YouTube video about how to redirect to a URL? I'm sure there is, but I'm not going to remember where. Here, GoDaddy forward domain. It's fairly straightforward. I'm going to assume that most people watching this have GoDaddy. And you can GoDaddy has all kinds of documentation, but basically you would build your landing page, right? So I would take this link and then I could go to GoDaddy. And just set it to forward to this link. I'm sorry if that's not a great answer, but it's fairly straightforward with GoDaddy. Once you own the domain, there's attached to every domain, there's an option to forward, basically. So I'm not sure that I just dropped the right article, but I hope that helps. Yeah, Craig, I'll make that. I'll post it in the group. I'll get that in the group, the Facebook group tomorrow morning. That's insiderealestate.com/Facebook group if you guys aren't already a member. But yeah, I can do a really quick tutorial about that approach. For some reason, I think I've done it before, but it'd probably be quicker to just make it new than to find it. It's probably been a few years, but definitely, you're just going to your domain registrar and forwarding to the landing page. I'll get that done. Cool. I'm just going to get into the questions here. So Suzanne, you forward a domain to your landing page or the other way around? You forward the domain to the landing page. So here, I'll show you my 727 real estate deals one. I use this domain cost club. It's like a wholesale domain dealer. I pay a monthly fee to buy down the domain cost. I think they're cool, but they're their interface is a little different than GoDaddy. So I'm logging in here. You guys are going to see some of my whiskey-induced business ideas and domains, but here we go. Try to get to my dashboard. My domains. So here it is, 727 real estate deals. And in most domain registrars, sometimes it comes under, you see I click change DNS setting. I think it might be in the same section of GoDaddy actually. It's change DNS setting. And then I want to use domain forwarding, and then you can forward it over. This is the link to my landing page. Ah, thank you. Somebody dropped a link to how to forward a domain. Thank you. So the question is, how does this all interface with your KV Core? Maybe I went too fast over that. Anytime somebody opts into one of these pages, they become a lead in your KV Core. So here, we'll just. I click that. It'll take me to my thank you page. So I have a custom page with a link to all of my different kinds of deals. And then if I look inside of KV Core, that lead will be in there, and it'll be in there with the hashtag that I assigned when I built the page. So let's get ourselves logged back into KV Core. And then we'll go to our Smart CRM. We should see that test lead in there. I used just a note, guys, we were dealing with this earlier today. If you try to test and the contact is already in KV Core, it doesn't show up as a new lead. So that's what I just did. That's why it didn't show up top. But I just put this in here, and it should have my hashtag in here. Did it not append? But that's basically it. It'll add the lead to your system. We'll give it another email. I think everybody mostly gets that. Like these pages are tied, so they're going to put the leads in KV Core. And then you can build campaign and automation rules based on the hashtags that are being assigned. So if I go back here, this test lead should now be in the system. See my bogus email, and it came in with the Pinellas Starter Homes hashtag and the acreage hashtag. And then I can now have smart campaigns built based on that. So Diego's asking, can you repeat how you create the link for the search results? For sure, yeah. So that's going to be one of our build squeeze pages. So our landing page is kind of the simple one pager, and then you go to this build squeeze right here. We should call these build squeeze links, but I guess they're technically squeeze page semantics. But you'll come in here and just create the criteria. So choose the county or the city. You can draw on a map if you want. So say you were doing a specific school zone. You do the draw area. Yeah. I'm just left clicking to draw the box, apply selection, and I can do a specific price range, different options here. And when I click generate link, it gives me the link that I'll set as the after opt-in link. Great question from Suzanne. Can a landing page go to info on a custom page? Absolutely. And in fact, that's what you just kind of saw me do quickly. My 727 real estate deals page. If you guys want I don't mind if you want to opt into that. But this page, it actually goes to a KV Core custom page. It doesn't go directly to the squeeze links. This is just a little bit of a technique. It goes to a custom page where I have a bridge video. So I say, hey, thanks. I introduce myself. And then down below, I have links to various squeeze links for different types of deals. So these I all built in that squeeze link builder section. So I have one for income properties, foreclosures, fixers. And just keep in mind, these are always up to date with the latest properties. And Chris is saying in the chat, it can go anywhere with the URL, and that's absolutely right. So you can set any URL you want anywhere on your KV Core site or outside of your KV Core site for the landing page. But again, try to come up with one hook. It really, and become the expert on that hook. So, hey, I'm gonna be the new construction person in my market. I'm gonna have a quick landing page that offers a list of new construction homes. And then every week, I'm going to send everybody who opts in my featured new construction listing of the week, right? That's kind of, these landing pages are the start of the funnel. And then your follow-up is about giving them more of the same and interesting ways that get them to know, like, and trust you, so that when they're ready, willing, and able, they give you a call. Yes, so Susan's asking, you just put the page URL in the landing page? Yep. So when you're building the page, we'll just do that real quick again. So we'll go build landing page. You'll notice up at the top, it says URL after login. That's where you put the link to the thing that you're offering. That's what goes up top. So, and this is how you build web funnels. Basically a lot of what KV Core allows you to do is a lot of what internet marketers do. If you've seen Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels or all those gurus at ClickFunnels itself, KV Core is almost kind of a similar thing to that, but it's just tailored to real estate. But some good context on this might be to just try to watch some videos about basic internet marketing, right? I might even, why not just plug Russell Brunson? He's huge. His .com secrets, it's probably over a decade old now, but it's still good. And his books would be kind of good to read, because they're heavy on building these kinds of funnels and building trust with people, making offers and then building trust. So his .com secrets, his traffic secrets, his expert secrets, I'd recommend those, for some context on what we're trying to do here with these tools. Lots of questions here. I'm trying to get here now. Landing page. Chris is saying, Chris, you think it should just be called thank you page instead of redirect? It's the same thing. I mean, we should just call it thank you page. Or do you mean that there was a set thank you page that was global? I would like that too. Craig, this was all KV Core that I've been showing you. Craig was asking, was this interface I'm working at KV Core? It's all KV Core. So that my thank you page, my landing pages, when they land and I have various squeeze links at the bottom, see these deal links? This is all built with KV Core. The page I'm looking at on the screen right now. Diego's asking if you forward a KV Core site to a GoDaddy, can I make the squeeze? Oh, no. If you attached a domain to your KV Core site already, I wouldn't mess with that. I would get a different domain for a specific landing page. You could do a subdomain forward, but it gets a little hairy. You could forward like foreclosures.domain.com to a specific landing page. But I would be careful. You don't want to break the mapping to your KV Core site. I would maybe chat support on that one, or that'd be a good question. If you ask, give some specifics in the Facebook group, myself and others can probably chime in. Might need more info about what you're trying to do. But if I understand the question, just be careful. Oh, good question from Suzanne. So if you put a URL to outside information, will the landing page still load their info to KV Core? Yes, that's part of the fun. So yes, I could offer like a YouTube video about how to invest in real estate, right? So I don't even need to create the content. And then they would opt in to get that video about how to invest in real estate, but the lead would go into KV Core when they fill out the KV Core form. Yeah. Great question, Suzanne. But yes, anybody who submits one of those landing page forms, when puts their info in, will become a lead in KV Core, no matter where you redirect them. Chris asking, have you ever stacked landing pages? You can. Yeah, like you do one page, and then they get to another one, and you ask another question. One thing that people do, the address lander, for example. So you could offer you could build a simple lead generation page that offers a free detailed value report, right? So they could enter their address, their email on their phone. So you get that first, and then you could take them, redirect them to the address capture page. And it would be like step 2, enter your address. Right. So yeah, you could chain them together. And that's kind of what that bridge page theory is about too, is you're going to build 2 different landing pages. Add your branding bar onto our landing page. If it's a third-party script, Suzanne, that you have installed into KV Core, I actually think it does it automatically, which can be actually not convenient. You know, if you put something in the footer script in the KV Core, it might show up there, but otherwise there's no direct way to just add it to that one page. Craig, the host of the domain provider does not have to be set to IRE servers to do a simple forward, like I mentioned. So if I want to buy 727 real estate deals separate from my KV Core site, but I want to tell GoDaddy, hey, whenever somebody types that in, just send it over here to the KV. It doesn't need to be mapped to their servers. So there's a difference between mapping your domain, you know, with DNS and name servers versus just forwarding it. So the example, what I was showing today was just a simple forward, not a domain. What I was trying to say to the person who asked the question was I wouldn't mess with the domain if it had DNS settings that map the name servers already and change it to a forward, because it could break your KV Core site. Yeah, forwarding versus hosting, as Chris is saying. Are you able to easily track, good questions, guys. Are you able to easily track all the people using the landing page other than using a KV Core filter? No, it would have to be, you'd want to filter by the hashtag and use a unique hashtag. Currently, there's no way to see everybody who opted into the landing page. It is a good, interesting feature request. And maybe when we get the saving of landing pages done, maybe that's something they could do, where you can just click and see, hey, see all leads that came from here. I'll mention that to the team, because that is a good idea. But currently you can't. The only way you'd be able to do it is by the hashtag. I'm going to geek out a little bit on that though, just as an aside for those of you guys who understand Facebook custom audiences and are doing some Facebook retargeting. You know, just remember, you can always take the string in the URL and build audiences based on that to retarget the people visiting your page. That's a big can of worms I don't want to go too deep down right now. If you want to learn more about that, we have webinars about retargeting and Facebook ads in the webinar link. But if you know what I just said, then it's pretty cool, right? You just take the string from the end of the URL, set that as a URL with custom audience in Facebook, and then you can retarget anybody who visits that page. Yep, Tony, this is recorded. It's on the Inside Real Estate YouTube channel. Craig dropped the link for us there. Is the landing page HTML friendly? Not sure what you mean, Chris. Like, oh, can you put HTML in? No, you can't. You mean in the inputs, right? Like, yeah, no. It'll just look like that. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, guys, 4 o'clock. I got to run. I'm 2 minutes late for the next thing. But thank you for being here. We do these webinars every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Remember that if you want more interaction with our training team, we do our quick start sessions every day at 1 p.m. East, 10 a.m. Pacific. That's it for kind of the basics, Monday through Thursday. And then we do next level sessions, the next of which is starting right now on another Zoom link. You can access all that stuff from the Inside Real Estate Training Calendar, accessible from your links. Thank you for all the participation, Chris. And the next thing is, I don't even know their topic today. I apologize. But it's the Next Level Strategies webinar is starting now. And here's the link if you guys want to hop over there. If you're just chilling and you want to get more KV Core action today, there's your link. You can hop on there. I think it's Heather B today. And